Stephie Mae. I'm back. Yay! I have been working on the studio this morning, which you'll probably see in the pre-clip prior to this one. I was working on my painting area. That's the table that had a huge pile of paints and markers and misplaced items on it. And I've slowly been working my way through that, got it pretty much cleared off, and my next step after the video right now will be to work on my IKEA rolling carts and reorganizing them so that I have separate carts for different things like watercolor and gouache, an acrylic one probably, and a drawing one. Yeah, my cat is sneaking in here. She's very needy today. It's been, let's see, it is Tuesday. I keep thinking it's Monday, but it's Tuesday, January 2nd. And it's been a little bit of a rough day for me. My peoples all went back to work today and stuff, so it's my first day alone for a while. And knowing that there's not a lot of holidays coming with time together with people. Excuse my kitty's tail. It gets a little sad, and I guess my anxiety builds up a little bit when everything goes back to its normal schedule. I'll be fine probably within a day or so, but it does get a little bit hard because I go from having somebody around to talk to all day to going back to only having my little kitties like Zoe to talk to and spend time with, which is not a bad thing, but they're not quite as conversational as the people in my life. That's okay though. They really give good cuddles. I was going to talk to you today about a couple of my favorite things for organizing my studio so far. The first one is my labeler. Anybody who owns a labeler can tell you that there is a weird compulsive thing about wanting to label things. I don't know. It feels like you're a little kid, like when you learn words and they have you like stick like the words on things because you're learning them. Kind of feels like that a little bit. It's just really super exciting. So, I don't know. I love doing it. Which ties into my other favorite item for the day. I am not committed to one art form, which seems to be pretty common amongst my other vloggers that I have been watching. I love drawing with graphite. I love acrylic. I love watercolor, gouache. Gouache has my heart, to be honest. But so I have a lot of different items that I have in the studio for different mediums, and I really wanted a way to organize them other than just big, huge like tubs and stuff. So I actually started ordering these guys off of Amazon, and they have a little clip on each side, and the top just pops off, and then it clips on. They don't clip super tight, so I wouldn't put like messy things in there, and I wouldn't like use these to like throw into, say, like a tote bag or something. I mean, I would want it sitting properly because otherwise it can tend to pop off on some of them. But for in-studio organization, it's wonderful. And I have my, let's see, I don't know if you can see it here. A little bit you can. Let's see. I have my labeler where it says graphic because these are my graphic markers. I have one for my Inkjoy ballpoint. I have one for the special set of the Prismacolor Premier, the little bit, I think, let's see. Yeah, the Premier one. I'm not sure why I put this one in a separate one. I think it's because this is my kind of to-go on retreats kind of one instead of taking my full set. I also have my Prismacolor Verithin. I have the graphic colored marker one, my Molotows, and the other half of my Molotows. The good thing about these are that they perfectly stacked together because they have a little ridge. So they don't topple much when I have them stored on the shelf that I'm keeping them on right now. I'm not sure if I'll keep them on the shelf they're on or if I'll end up eventually putting them into my IKEA rolling carts, which are the best thing since sliced bread. So that's what I'm working on today. I am really trying really hard to make a good push at the beginning of the year here to get through a lot of the stuff in my studio, though I do know it's going to be a long process. Part of what I'm doing, as a tip to other people who might find themselves overwhelmed with organizing their studio or organizing their house in general, is that it's hard to know where to start. And so what I did was I started with the area that I spend the most time in, which is my computer desk area, because that's where I run my blogs from, that's where I watch videos from, and it's just where I spend most of my mornings when I come in. This is the first place I go to. I check my email, Facebook, of course, Instagram. I check to see if my favorite vloggers have posted to their vlogs yet, to their channels on YouTube. And it's just where I really start my day. I am not a person that can really jump into like painting at like when I get up in the morning. And the first thing I actually do when I get up is at my kitchen table, my dining room table, which maybe I'll film it some morning, a little clip of it. I think I might have done a little bit already, but I'll try to do a better clip of it. I write in very dim light with my overhead light dimmed and my candle burning. I do my pages every morning, still left over from the artist pages from, is it the Creative Way or the Artist's Way? I can't remember the exact name of it now. I've gone through the book at least 2 or 3 times in the past, and I have found that I don't necessarily like going through all of the exercises again, but what I do like is just running through those artist pages in the morning. I hadn't been doing it again since my mom had been diagnosed with being sick with cancer again. And that was unusual for me because usually when I go through stressful times, I've always been a huge journaler for that stuff. And this time I couldn't do it, and I think a lot of it was probably just denial and I was dealing with it so much in my own head that I didn't want to deal with it on paper. Plus, with taking care of mom, I really didn't have a lot of extra time to do that stuff. So it's been nice to get back to that. I've been doing it for a few weeks now, and it's actually really been helping with my anxiety levels a lot. It helps me work through things that I tend to be kind of compulsively worrying about that I go through over and over in my head, which is really a blockage to creativity, at least for me. I really can't be very creative when my mind is completely immersed with something that I'm worrying about. And it's not even like huge things that I worry about sometimes, you know. Sometimes it's like, oh, I haven't heard from so-and-so. I hope they're okay. Is everything fine? Is our friendship okay? It's just that sort of stuff. And it's silly. You know it's silly, but you still do it. So I went on a tangent. I know. It'll happen. So I start my days doing my journaling upstairs at my dining room table. Then I come down to my studio and I spend the first part of my day doing the emails, working on my website, anything like that. And then it's not until about mid to late morning that I really start to feel the creative energy to paint and draw and do fully creative things. What about you guys? Do you guys get that way? Do you have specific times of the day you like to work? I used to think that I was like a night working person, but really that was just because there was a day job at the time. And that was the only time I had to create. So I guess I just forced myself to be that creative time person. Now I have a little bit different perspective that I'm going to be doing full-time art and illustration, that I'm ascribing to the ideology that you can't wait for inspiration to come anymore. Part of that is dealing with losing somebody and the grieving process and knowing that, you know, your days are numbered. Sorry. But I don't mean it in a negative way. It's just this realization that I only have so much time. I don't know how much time that is, and I need to make the most of the time that I have right now. And I want to make art that people love, that make people happy, and that make people smile. And that's part of why I really like doing the pet portraits, is because when people see their pet and their fur baby and their kid, their fur kid, in a frame and professionally set for them, they're so proud. It's like seeing somebody having the first portrait of their kid, you know, and how excited they are that there's this pretty portrait. And that's what fur parents get like when they get them. And that just brings me a lot of joy. And I would just like to keep doing that for more people, really. I'm working on trying to get commissions in for doing them more from outside of my social circle, which will take time, and that's fine. I have patience for that. So what I have done for now is I have a 365-day calendar for both dogs and cats. That is my Snoopy clock. Good to remember. It is the top of the hour then. And I have a Snoopy Christmas clock that is in my studio year-round. And it plays music every hour in the hour. And of course, right now, it played the longest one that there is. It might get edited out. I don't know yet. What was I saying? Snoopy interrupted me. Oh yes, a 365-day calendar of both cats and dogs, where there's images of people's cats and dogs. And I am going to start using those to paint from for practice and for putting onto my website as my portfolio. I'm hoping that once my channel gets going more, I can start doing giveaways for X amount of number of followers, perhaps. I don't have a lot of followers right now, but we all start somewhere. And maybe I'll get there, maybe I won't. But either way, I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I hope you have a great day. We'll finish out with some clips of what I'm working on and cleaning in the studio, and maybe if I actually find the time to do some drawing today, I'll do a little snippet of that too. Thanks, guys. Again, if you like these videos, if you want to see how my studio progresses in getting clean, click the subscribe button down below. Bye, guys.